Vashawn Holden presents the living embodiment of the American spirit, my brother, Rick Glaser.
Oh, what a cheap imitation of Don King that was. And guys, want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching that nail biter. And oh, I tell you what, to our dismay, the Bills lost and the Broncos won. But guys, we still keep forging ahead. And guys, we wouldn't be here without the counsel of our very dear friend, one of the sharpest minds in the business today, the living embodiment of the American spirit, the incomparable Rick Glaser. Rick! Oh, so you didn't, what did you think of that imitation? It was a little bit better, wasn't it?
It was lukewarm at best.
Oh, gee, oh, dude. You know what? I think you're right. I think it sounded more like that cheap imitation on Rocky V. What do you think?
Not even that good.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Oh, I'm trying to remember that guy. What was his name? That promoter at Rocky V.
I don't know. Something tells me he was related to what's her name? The Cleo, the magic crystal ball lady. What was her name?
Oh, you mean Miss Cleo?
Miss Cleo, yeah. But anyway, guys, we've got a lot to discuss. We're in a really good mood, and I'm sorry. Despite the Bills laying an egg on Monday Night Football, guys, chingao. Well, we forge ahead like I told you, and we've got a lot to discuss. Guys, we're going to start everything off with, another episode of Rick Glaser's Twitter Watch. We also have a brand new segment just for today to get ready for the festivities on Thursday. Top Rank, a special Thursday night card featuring in the main event Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin De Los Santos and not Frank Martin. Rick, you've got a tweet coming up about that, brother. And here we go. We're going to start everything off with Rick Glaser's Twitter Watch.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter Watch. Bang!
Thank you,
Guys.
Teddy. That was great.
Yeah, here we go, guys. This was actually published on November 12th, yesterday, at 6:23 a.m. He says, quote, "Where's the big fight that Frank Martin said he had after he refused $1 million plus to fight Shakur Stevenson? There's no big fight for Frank Martin months later, but there's a lot of babaluba from Frank Martin. Hashtag boxing." Oh boy. That's something that hasn't aged well for Frank Martin. Rick, your thoughts on quite possibly the biggest blunder that we've seen, since Teofimo Lopez went with Triller?
It's self-explanatory. He said that he had another big fight and he opts to take the other big fight. Where is it? Here we are. Shakur's fight's taking place this week. There's no showtime anymore. They've already booked their schedule for the rest of the year and the rest of their life. There's no more showtime boxing. Where's the money going to come from to pay this guy? I mean, he's going to have to be hoofed out to a Bob Arum or an Eddie Hearn or something like that for him to get that kind of money now.
Yeah, this was probably one of the biggest blunders we've seen from a non-ticket seller, non-ratings draw.
Well, I mean, keep in mind.
Go ahead, sir.
Keep in mind that his highest purse was $75,000. He claimed it was $200,000, but nobody's been able to substantiate that. And so it's the highest purse that anybody can find is $75,000, which is fair market value for him. Don't get me wrong. Yep. But when you get offered $1,050,000 to fight, you need to be fighting.
Yeah, and you know what? What was even worse was his, reasoning for this. And I don't know if anyone saw it. It seems like a distant memory, doesn't it, G Funky? What did he say to Miss Cleo? What did he say? What was his reasoning?
Something about, Devin Haney claims that he offered Shakur Stevenson $8 million to fight. And if he's going to get that much money, then I need to get more money. And it was really the dumbest explanation I think I've ever
Guys,
heard.
we told you that Urban Advisors is the most, well, aside from, well, no, it's become an epidemic on every level. And it's the primary reason why fighters will avoid and turn down opportunities. Rick, is there anything more frustrating to you than a non-ticket seller, non-ratings draw, doesn't have the support of an influential promoter, advisor, or manager, and he turns down assignments? What is more irritating than that in the business?
He is with Al Heyman and Earl Spence, but it hasn't done him right. This hasn't done him much good, but it is frustrating. I've had fighters. I was putting a fighter in with Larry Holmes on USA Network. Larry was old at the time; he was 40 years old, and people were begging me to fight Larry Holmes and to get their name on his resume, even though they were probably going to lose, just to say they fought Larry Holmes. And I offered the guy legit money at the time. This is like 1993. I offered him $25,000. He takes the fight. Then he calls me back later that night. Man, I went to the pool hall. My homies told me I should be getting $250,000.
Oh
my gosh! Based
So
on
you know what I
looks?
So you know what I told him? I said to him, I said, well, your homies need to pay you $250,000 because you ain't getting in this fight. Talk to you later. And I got another guy for $25,000, and he fought and got stopped. But he went on to thank me for years that he got the fight. Larry Holmes. So I mean, people don't get it.
No, people don't
Frank
get
Martin,
it.
Frank Martin's definitely one of them. And maybe he can earn his bones working with George Washington Duke, that promoter.
That's it.
I'm sorry, I completely forgot to switch my mic. My apologies, guys. Do I sound better now?
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. Because this is indeed the real Rick Glaser show. Don't want to sound like an amateur. No, guys, we have our first super chat of the evening. And it comes from our brother RZ, and he says, Rick, are the Saudis actually making profit from these boxing cards?
No, they're not aimed to make profit. They're aimed to draw tourism over there long term, and they show the Western world that they're there to stay. And as far as sports and as far as tourism and stuff, and that's what they're trying to do. It's nothing to do with making money or losing money.
Well, I tell you what,
they're making a lot of money, that's for sure.
Well, I tell you what, that's as perfect a segue as any, guys. So let's go. It was announced. Well, the news broke anyway. I think it was on Saturday or Sunday that Frank Warren, a novel idea. What do you know? Working with everyone within the heavyweight division to put together this fight card on December 23rd, because lo and behold, Tyson Fury, it was obvious to everyone that he wasn't going to be ready, right, to face Alexander Usyk. So, what do? You reach out to everyone and, basically displaying a basic fundamental truth of this business that we already knew, that we work in a symbiont industry in which everyone works together and is willing to work together to meet the demand. And if the money is there, who's going to say no? Big Rick, can you expound on this before we move forward with this card, sir?
It was just Frank's the lead guy, and he's put together this, him and the Saudi Sports and Tourism and Convention Authority has put together this huge card, and that's what they're doing. They were supposed to get Usyk and Fury. It's not happened till sounds like February 17th, so it's going to be a really big show.
Yep. I tell you what, we'll get your thoughts on each individual fight because it looks like it's pretty much already done, except for a couple scragglers. And we're going to announce it and get Rick's thoughts on each individual bout. Right in the main event of the evening, scheduled for 12 rounds of action. Anthony Joshua, former two-time heavyweight champion. He's facing Otto Wallin, southpaw mover. Well, very awkward fighter. Rick, were you in shock when you heard that he and Eddie Hearn agreed to this main event?
Not really. Not really. I think that Wallin, Joshua should win the fight, but if Wallin won, it wouldn't surprise me at all. He's an awkward guy. He's got good hand speed. He's very competent, and AJ did not let exactly look too good against Usyk, and he's a left-handed mover himself. So, this is not going to be an easy fight for Joshua. So there you go.
No, it's not going to be easy at all. And quite honestly, guys, I'm shocked that Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua thought that this was a very good idea. But apparently, they were given an offer that they couldn't refuse now, could they? And there it is.
Basically.
Yep. So there it is. Go to the co-main event of the evening. Former WBC heavyweight titleist Deontay Wilder is going to take on former WBO titleist Joseph Parker in a loser go home match for all intents and purposes.
Loser leave town. I love that.
Yep, loser leave town. Rick, your thoughts
the winner's
going to
leave town. The winner's going to leave town too.
Oh, geez.
What do I think? I think that if Wilder can stop him, but if he doesn't, he may lose a decision because what's his name? Parker does throw punches and he can box a little bit and he's got a decent ring IQ, but he's a little on the back nine. If Wilder doesn't knock him out, I can see Parker winning the decision. One of the two.
Yeah, and Wilder's so inactive too. Hasn't fought in a really long time. And then the last time he was in the ring, he got in maybe a half round against Robert Helenius. A lot of question marks surrounding Deontay Wilder coming into this one. But man, I was hoping that my guy Terry Lane and Tommy Lane, promoter, manager of Big Bang, Julie Zhang, would get Joseph Parker next.
Come on,
yeah.
you know. Let me tell you, man, the Big Bang, despite all the money he brings to the table from the Chinese market, he's currently being avoided like the plague. Rick, if you had our heavyweight, would you step in the ring with the Big Bang, Julie Zhang?
Not really. Not very rewarding. No.
Nope. Tell you what, unless you like getting knocked the F out, sure. And I tell you what, in the another featured bout, it's the return of the Ghost from 175 pounds. The Ghost of Christmas Past, Dimitri Bivol.
Oh, boy.
It'll be his only appearance in 2023 versus Ricardo, the Popeye the Sailor Rivera from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I don't like. It's Bevo wins that fight. It's a different league.
Easy. Yeah, it's a
snooze
different
fest
class.
too. Snooze fest.
Popeye the Sailor. Popeye the Sailor. Come on now. And then Philip, if you thought that was bad, check out what's next. Once again, Eddie Hearn's only other addition to this card, despite those who thought and who still think that, Eddie Hearn's taking over. Okay, Philip Ergovich versus Lucas Brown from Australia. How do you like that, Rick?
I thought he was fighting, Herb Robic was fighting Martin Broccoli. When did that happen?
Maybe that's been a last-minute change. I was told from Ronnie Shields it was Lucas Brown.
God. Good luck.
Cool Herkovich is man. Another guy who has kind of been hung out to dry a little bit in the heavyweight division, but glad to see him keep him busy.
Yeah, you know what? I would have much rather seen a rematch between Philip Ergovich and the Big Bang Julie Zhang. Now, maybe that's just me, but well. No, here's the reason, guys. Ronnie Shields, he's not even going to be there. He's going to be on vacation. He's celebrating Christmas early. He's going to be on some cruise with the lovely Mrs. Shields. And there it
Right
is.
on. Right on,
And
Ronnie.
then in our next
What
feature
about
bout, I'm sorry,
aren't
go
they
ahead.
don't they have Daniel Dubois versus Big Baby Miller?
I'm getting to that, my
Yeah.
friend. Here it is.
Oh.
Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell. Big fat ass Baby Miller. How do you like that? And that's once again Frank Warren's guy versus Dimitri Salita's guy.
Dimitri
Another promoter he's working
Salita
with.
and Greg Cohn and Dimitri Salita are partners in that.
Yep, Greg Cohen. Oh, that's a blast from the past. Was he? Is he still in this business? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I've always liked Greg. Despite going to the Hooskow and whatever, I've always liked Greg. He's always been good to me. Anyway.
Yeah.
And next, guys, you've got Snoozer Frank Sanchez versus Junior Fa. A guy
Junior
who got
Fa.
knocked out by Marcus Brown or Lucas Brown, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Fa's not much. That fight's over quick.
Oh boy.
I agree, Rick. I agree.
And then Arslanbek Magmadov versus the dreaded TBA. How do you like that?
Gotta love
Your
the CBA.
silence speaks volumes, my friend. I will say this though. Anyone who thought that this was going to break the bank in the U.S. market, Rick, I don't see it faring much better at Christmas time in the American market during the day than Fury Ngannou. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. It's going to do, the other one did 72,000. It's going to do about that, same thing.
So wait a minute. I thought Eddie Hearn was being brought in to save the day.
Oh.
No?
No.
Sorry, I'm just poking fun, guys. I'm just poking fun. But thank you, brother, for your super chat, RZ. We appreciate it, my friend. Let's go back to Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Oh, boy. Here we go. There's some good stuff here, brother. This is something that really caught my attention today, right? And this was, lo and behold, this is your only tweet for the day? You must have been busy. No, this was yesterday, November 12th, 10:42 p.m. Oh, boy. And this is based from an article titled Teofimo Lopez on Murky Future. Quote, I bring too many demands and don't get nothing back. We want to weigh our options, end quote. Oh, boy. And you stated this, Rick, quote, Teofimo is so delusional and clueless, has a promotional agreement with Top Rank, but he's talking to other promoters about fights. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Read this article. It's another fighter that thinks he's worth a lot more than he is. It's an era of fighters that think they're worth a lot more. So he sits and makes zero. He's already turned down a world title defense for December 9th, so the self-inflicted damage is already setting in, end quote. This is becoming an epidemic, Rick.
Yeah. I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's the way it is. That they're just these fighters think they're businessmen. They think they're worth 500,000 more, $1 million more, or whatever, and then they sit there and they make zero, and they pass up 2 million. I mean, it's crazy.
So
it's absolutely incredible.
What's causing all of this, Rick?
I think with Teofimo, it's delusion, but with most people are listening to other people. Teofimo might be listening to somebody else that's giving him bad advice. I don't know that to be a fact, but they're just, I don't know. They're just, people are nuts. People are nuts. You can't make that 2 million up. How you gonna do that? You just can't. You just can't. Can't make up time either.
Nope, you can't. So what better options does Teofimo have at 40 than Top Rank?
Nothing. He's got nothing. He's got a long-term contract with Top Rank. He's got to live up to it.
So when he says he wants to weigh his options, what the hell does that mean?
It's delusion. That's what I said.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that or if he's trying to troll the fans again, like he did with the whole suicidal thing that he was pushing leading into the Taylor fight. It's a weird situation with Teofimo because Teofimo, is a very good skilled, entertaining, and accomplished fighter at the same time. But yeah, it doesn't draw the kind of crowds in New York like I thought he would. Although viewership, he does quite well, depending on the opponent. So yeah, it's a situation with him. I think he just needs to just do what Top Rank is asking him to do. They have the best matchmakers in the game, and
by far.
you'll get things done, man.
Well, what I want to know is he didn't learn his lesson from that whole spiel with Triller saying,
yeah.
you know what, I don't like the Top Rank offer. I know I'm worth a lot more than that. Let's go to purse bid. And he was like, oh, see, I told you guys I'm worth so much more money. Look at how much more money I'm getting from Triller. How did that turn out?
Not good.
Not so good.
No. So he hadn't learned his lesson from that.
Yeah, it turned into the worst case scenario, to be quite honest. The fight didn't even end up on Triller, ended up on the Zone, and then you end up losing the fight with Kambosos. So, yeah, it was like Murphy's Law for Teofimo after he decided to, take the fight to the purse bid. He thought he struck gold with the way that they came in strong, but yeah, a lot of things happened. They moved the dates, they got COVID, and I mean, it was just a complete disaster, man.
Oh boy. Yeah, and look, fools just never learn, do they? Fools just never learn.
Like the old Doobie Brothers song, right, Joe? What a fool believes.
Oh, he came from somewhere back. No, sorry, I'm not going to do my terrible Michael McDonald impression. And Rick's like, thank you. Oh, and we got some more tweets from the real Rick Glaser. Here it is. When it was announced that, I'll just read this. This is from November 11th, 1:07 p.m. Rick said this, quote, fact, sick of lies. In truth, Cody Crowley was offered substantially more than $50,000 to fight Boots Ennis. And what he was offered was close to fair market value, but a little light. There's nothing wrong if you don't feel you have the confidence to beat someone, but don't lie about it and say the money is the reason, end quote, hashtag boxing. What happened here? Because he was the next in line to face Boots Ennis as the mandatory challenger.
He didn't want to fight him. They offered him good money.
So then he announces his retirement?
I don't know. It's all bullshit. He didn't retire. Come on, please.
Let's see. A Canadian fighter with no fan base has a promoter in Yvonne Michelle with no TV dates in the States.
No. Yvonne Michelle doesn't have anything to do with it. The guy's with PBC.
No shit. Okay, well then no TV dates. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So why would he turn this down? Once again, Rick, I am so sick to death of guys who have no fan base. No, they're not a ticket selling attraction.
Right.
They don't have any TV dates. Why the hell would he turn this down?
Delusion. Another guy.
Oh,
Delusion.
I'm sick
Terrible.
of this. But on that same topic, you had a very, very interesting take, right? On, the reason Terrence Crawford was stripped and the reason why so many fans are up in arms about the, seemingly hypocritical treatment of how they handled Errol Spence Jr. And allowing him to actually hold on to that IBF title for 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah, 6 years, but keep going. One mandatory in 6 years.
No, I was done. Good. Keep going, Rick. Let's hear it. I thought this was really insightful and very interesting. I hadn't heard this take yet.
What? With what? What take? Which one are you talking about now?
The one you told me about. I thought it was really interesting.
Oh, what they should have done.
I want everyone to hear this. Yeah.
What they should have done? They should have had him fight the number one contender, the top contender, whoever what it was, the next in line, if not, and left the title as the interim title, had him win the title, okay, because he probably would have beaten him, and then let go Spence fight Crawford go. Crawford wants to come back. Then you go to the last 3 fights with the purse bidders, and you split it up percentage wise like the WBO does. That's what they should have done. Now you depreciated your own champion. Everybody's calling him an email champ. Let him win the fight in the ring with somebody else. That's what they should have done. It was common sense. It's stupid that they didn't do it.
Well, and also on the other side of that argument, right, with Spence, you brought up something very, very interesting. You're like, you know what? On the grounds that he actually was drinking and driving, DUI,
Yeah.
could have
Oh
killed
yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. I mean, he was drinking and driving. Well, why would you? It was self-inflicted. Why would you allow a person to hold on to the title all that time while he's injured? It's ridiculous. If he was driving down the road by himself and he wasn't drinking or driving and somebody T-boned him, that's a different issue. His was self-inflicted. Fuck that.
Yeah. So I will say this though. Can you explain the reason why the sanctioning organizations at this time are doing this? Once again, we've never throughout history seen so many fighters, mandatory challengers, number one contenders get elevated to championship status ever, Rick.
Yeah,
Why
it's
are we seeing
ridiculous.
this now?
Because they want the sanctioning fees and everything else. They want to keep the title active and rolling, and it's not good. It's not a good error. Not baseball error. And I'm just saying that it's convoluted today. I mean, no one's using their head.
Yeah,
the
well,
title shots come along once in a lifetime.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's
and you know what's funny, Rick, is we're talking about the IBF here with this Boots Ennis situation. When we were down in Los Angeles last month, Rick, I actually got a chance to speak briefly with IBF representative Levi Martinez down in the hotel we were at. I tried as hard as I could to get the guy to come on to my channel and talk about some things, but he said no, and that would have been perfect. That would have been perfect for this opportunity. We were actually talking about their mandatory protocols and things like that, but it was all off the record. I will not reveal that because I'm a man of my word, but that would have been great.
Well, I tell you what, for all intents and purposes, I know what he said. Chief Funky told me. No, I'm not going to disclose any of that. But I will say this, guys. The reason for this is, and Rick knows this as well as G Funky, the sanctioning organizations have never been this weak since their conception, guys, because of the alliances between the networks and the promoters. They are at their weakest point. So what alternative do they have? What's the weakest, right? What's the weaker of the two? Mandating a fight that isn't going to happen, or elevating a contender or a mandatory challenger or an interim titleist to world championship status.
But I agree with what you're saying. That's correct. But that's not the answer. The answer is make the interim champ fight the leading available contender. Let him win the title in the ring. Now everybody's calling the guy email champ. It's diluted now.
That's right.
It's stupid.
So what looks better? Once again, what looks better? Beating or mandating a fight between Boots and Cody Crowley, and it doesn't happen because the money's not there?
They didn't have to mandate that fight. All they could have said is, hey, if you make a deal, we'll mandate it. Make the deal first, then we'll mandate it. So they don't make themselves look stupid, but they're not that smart.
What, you mean Daryl Peoples and Levi Martinez aren't that smart?
Well, I like Daryl, but there's no ingenuity there, obviously.
Yeah, something's got to give, guys. Because the whole handing off the belt to the mandatory guy when the champion vacates it just, in my opinion, it looks very, very weak. Let's make a fight between these two guys and somebody fight and win the belt.
Exactly.
That's it, guys. And once again, we were having a soiree, right, a celebration when the WBC was in town in San Antonio, Texas. We were commemorating all of the champions throughout the rich history of San Antonio boxing, and they were commemorating John Michael Johnson, who was there, had a great victory over an incumbent champion. Jesse James Leha, how did he win the title? And the late, great El Piquin, Robert Quiroga, right? The first three champions. And then you look at Mario Barrios, Josh Franco, and they celebrated them. And Jesse James Leha, being the gentleman that he is, James, he goes, oh, yeah, this is just a continuation of what we actually started, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for San Antonio boxing. And Bam Rodriguez is up next before he won the title, right? And I said, James, you're being nice. And it's just me and him off the record. Now it's on the record, I guess. But I was like, James, come on, you're being nice. Who did Mario Barrios beat? No, I said, who did you beat to win the title? Oh, fuck, man. I had to walk through
Zuma
fire
Nelson.
to beat a Zuma Nelson. Hall of Fame badass. That's right. Who did Mario beat to win the title? And he just looked at me and smiled. That says it all now, doesn't it, guys? That says it all. That's what Rick's point is. That's the problem with this scenario, guys. What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on with our beloved boxing?
Yeah, well, I'm never mind. I'm not going to say, because I was going to say something.
No. Among friends. Go ahead.
No. I promised I wouldn't say anything about our conversation that I had with Levi, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, he's here in spirit. You can do it. I'm kidding. I wouldn't want you to do that. But Rick, any final thoughts on this before we move forward, sir?
Yeah, they got these organizations got to right their ship and make it not look like they're just handing belts out. It's a joke.
Yeah, guys, this
terrible.
is the weakest they have ever been since I've been alive. And well, let's just face it, since Larry Holmes held the IBF, he made that sanctioned organization what it was. He and Don King. Okay, it hasn't been this weak since. Never.
Yeah,
It's
but they're all like that now compared to what they were just a few short years ago. I mean, they're just they've caused their own. They caused their own problems. They're self-inflicted again, just like Earl Spence's car crash. Self-inflicted.
Well, I will say this. I agree wholeheartedly with our brother Khalid. He said Spence fought Ocampo, then unified, which trumps any mandatory. Then ordered to fight WBC Danny, then the accident, then the IBF lots of Crowley. Boots then beat the top guys after IBF didn't do Bud dirty. Look, guys, I don't know why everyone is so up in arms about this. Bud had no intention of fighting at 47 ever again anyway.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? Because they should have called for the mandatory and then had him not fight or whatever. But they didn't even do that. They didn't give him due process.
That takes intelligence, Rick. But guys, let's move on to our new segment. And here it is. Well, we've got another Twitter, but you know what? We'll save that to the end. Here's our new segment, guys. Today, we're just going to start this for the first time.
It's time to rank the best at 135.
Ah, yes.
Thank you, Morgan. We appreciate it, brother. So I tell you what, we have a top 7 that Rick has. Are you ready, sir? What is your number 7 ranked lightweight 135 in the world today? Do you remember the list?
Muay Thai, I think it is.
No. You said, here it is.
Yeah, I know.
Here it is.
Right.
You ready? I'm going to put it on the board here. Are you ready? Number 7.
No,
not
I'm not looking. But
No, that's all right. Here it is. Number 7, Edwin De Los Santos, 16 with 14 knockouts, is his number 7 pick. ¿Por qué, Rick?
Oh, well, I mean, let's see how good he does on To move up. I'll see how good he does on Thursday night. But right now he's number 7. The reason why I rank 7 is, to be honest with you, because I didn't find it to be 10, 12 guys to be up in that level. Everybody else after number 7 is way back. Like Keyshawn's still an 8-round fighter. Floyd Schofield's still developing. Those guys, the top 7 are legitimate contenders. After that, it's just a whole bunch of guys that are either yesterday's news or on the way up. They're not in this level right here.
So you wouldn't place Chris Colbert or
No.
no. Give a better one. You wouldn't place Pitbull Cruz above Edwin De Los Santos.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. I tell you what, we're moving on to number 6.
No love for Isak.
Oh, the Pitbull, Isak Cruz, the little man with no neck. Oh boy. And there it is. And guys, we're going to be looking at, Tank Davis versus Isak Cruz coming up on Paramount Plus next year. And there it is. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Why would it be on Paramount Plus?
Because that's what I was told, sir. I tell you what, we'll exchange stories. Let's exchange what I heard with what you heard, and we'll talk about that a little bit later after your picks. Okay, but keep in mind, he puts Edwin De Los Santos above Pitbull Isak Cruz. Number 6, Big Rick puts number 6 Raymond Murataya at 19-0 with 16 knockouts. Number 6, Rick.
Knocking everybody dead. He's big, strong guy. He's well trained and coached by Robert Garcia, and he looks like a complete fighter to me.
Looked fantastic in his last
fight. I'm actually a little surprised that it's not higher than 6.
Yeah, he looked great. He looked really good in his last fight against Diego Torres from Mexico. And that card was actually a fun card last weekend up in Tahoe. Shout out to my guys, the Lane brothers, for helping out with that promotion there.
There it is. Number 5. Here goes William Zepeda, number 5.
Camarón
29-0 with 25 knockouts.
It's got a big engine, throws a ton of punches, got great endurance, and looks to be the real deal to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, he sure does. And I tell you what, if Edwin De Los Santos, Raymond Murataya, William Zepeda are 5, 6, and 7, I can't wait to see what 4, 3, 2, and 1 are. And here we go, guys. Number 4, according to Rick Glaser. Gervonta Tank Davis, 29-0 with 27 knockouts, all the way down to number 4. Once again, guys, this is not ticket selling. This is not pay-per-view sales. This is ability and resume. That's right? That's how you configured all of this, correct?
Yep.
And there it is. So, ¿por qué? Why Gervonta Davis at number 4?
Why so high or why so low?
Touche, brother.
Gotta love that.
So, you know what? You could get an argument from fans saying, oh, wait a minute. This guy seemingly has it all. One punch knockout power, possibly the only guy in the division to possess that. He's undefeated, 29-0 with 27 knockouts, has already competed at 140. Why at number 4, not at number 1, Rick?
Well, I don't see him beating Shakur. I don't see him beating Devin Haney. I don't see him beating Loma. And that's why he's number 4.
Oh, boy. Now, we'll talk about more of this because from what I understand and from what I've been told, that Tank Davis is contractually obligated. Apparently, Showtime, CBS, Paramount Plus, Viacom. They're contractually obligated to feature Gervonta Tank Davis twice via pay-per-view and distribute his next 2 fights as well as Canelo Alvarez. So who do you see Tank Davis fighting in 2024, Rick?
Well, Isak Cruz for sure.
Uh-huh.
After that, I don't know, but Isak Cruz, I would definitely say.
From what I was
So,
told, Rick, that one of the events later on in the year is going to be co-promoted with Top Rank. Who do you think that's going to be?
I have no idea.
I would guess Vasyl Lomachenko, which is your number 3 lightweight in the world. Vasyl Lomachenko, the old man of the division, 17-3 with 11 knockouts. Why so high, Rick?
Because, those losses are close. His few losses he had are very close, and he's got the guile and the ring experience and his ring IQ and just a little bit of everything. He's still very talented.
I agree, Rick.
Yeah,
I agree
too.
So do you think maybe people have forgotten how special he is because he's competing at lightweight now? Because this is a guy who's a natural.
You're asking me what other people. Wait, let me get this straight. You're asking me what other people have forgotten. I don't remember what I had for dinner tonight.
I love it. But, I think most fans have forgotten how special Vasyl Lomachenko is. Like, keep in mind, guys, this is a natural 26 and 30 pounder. Even though he competed at, 32 in the Olympics, which is lightweight. Yeah, he's not a natural 35 pounder in the pros.
No, I don't. No. He can beat it real little in the Olympics. I think it was like 25.
No, really?
Yes.
Same day weigh-ins in Olympics.
125.
At 32. Yeah, 35. No.
Maybe I don't know, but he turned pro at 26. I know that.
Yep. He turned pro at 36 or 26. Mowed through the competition with the exception of Orlando Salido. It's a funny story. Salido wasn't even interested in making weight, didn't want to even take the hour to try and make weight. He's like, no, I'm good. And Sean Gibbons was right there, right? So he weighs in the day of the fight at welterweight, right? Weighed in at 147. Guys, the day of the fight. And so Lomachenko's punches, with the exception of the last round, are basically bouncing off of him. And after the fight, I was ringside. This is in San Antonio. I said, Sean, you guys planned this the whole time, didn't you? He looks at me and he winks at me and he goes, I don't know what you're talking about, Joseph. Does that sound like the Sean Gibbons Rick?
Yep.
Wow.
Guys,
wow.
Once again, so guys, weight divisions matter is what we're saying. So, Rick, it's funny. Sean Gibbons doesn't get the credit he deserves. This is a great matchmaker and a real boxing guy. This is a guy who made his bones. Well, why did he leave Top Rank again anyway? Do you know the story behind that?
I'm not going to get into it.
Okay, there it is. So you heard the same story I did, and there it is. So he started to work for Zanfer. Yeah, so he started to work for Zanfer Promotions. Guys, if you must know, he was the architect in choosing the path of least resistance for Julio Cesar Mijo Jr. and his ascension to stardom, right? And guys, on that note, we wish nothing but the best for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and all of the issues that he's having right now. All prayers and thoughts go out to him and his family. God bless you, brother. God bless you. And there it is.
Poor mijito.
Yeah.
Pobrecito.
Ay, mijo. Ay, mijito. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I wasn't supposed to laugh. Number 2. Devin Haney, 30-0 with 15 knockouts. Well, wait a minute, though, Rick. Isn't he still considered the man at 35 and you have him ranked number 2? What's going on here, brother?
Well, if you think he can beat Shakur Stevenson, then make him number 1 on your list, but he doesn't belong on number 1 on my list.
Me personally, I would pick almost everybody, at least in the top 4, to beat Devin Haney at lightweight. But you know, they got to get in the ring and do it. That's where it counts. You know.
Yep, that's it. That's it. I tell you what, Devin Haney. Is there any chance of him coming back to 35, Rick?
I don't think so, but you know, he hasn't beat Prograis yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's tough because if Prograis, let's just say hypothetically, Prograis beats him pretty easily or even stops him, there's a good possibility he might say, hey, he might have to go back down. People question his ability to punch and even take a punch. So he's moving up bigger guys. We'll see what happens, man.
Okay, here it is. Our lone Fact or Fiction. Before we announce number 1 for Rick Glaser, this is the lone Fact or Fiction of the evening. Floyd, the honors.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
Fact or Fiction, Big Rick. Haney versus Prograis will prove to be less entertaining than Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin De Los Santos this Thursday. Fact or Fiction?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's. I think it's going to be a better fight than this fight. But what's his name? Very athletic. De Los Santos. I don't know. It's tough to say. It's good. It's a pretty comparable fight. So I don't know what's going to be. Be honest with you. I wish I had an answer.
Yeah. In other words, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, G Funky.
No, I was gonna say I think that this fight coming up this Thursday, I think it's gonna be somewhat entertaining. I don't think that De Los Santos is just gonna come and lay down. I think he's gonna really try early, but I think it's gonna there's gonna be a separation at some point, and then we're gonna see Shakur Stevenson win round after round after round and then win this thing. With Prograis and Haney, yeah, both guys don't throw a whole lot of punches. And then after what we saw against Danielito back in New Orleans earlier this year, yeah, might be a snooze fest in San Francisco. We'll see.
Oh, boy. I tell you what, and that leads us to our number 1 ranked lightweight, according to Rick Glaser. Even though he's never won a world title at 35, and he's only had 1 fight in the division, here it is. Shakur Stevenson, 20-0 with 10 knockouts. Woo-woo! And you know what, Rick? It's impossible to argue with you because if you know what you're looking at in the ring, this kid has it all. His ability to control range is amazing. Like the only person that he's comparable with is, well, maybe Dimitri Bivol and Terrence Crawford. How special is this kid?
He's very special. He's the next Floyd. He's already won world titles at 126. He unified at 130, and now he's going after 35, and then he'll go up to 40. He's that good.
Oh boy. So what about Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson? Now, once again, G Funky, do you want to see that fight happen?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What about Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson?
Excuse me. Yeah, definitely. I would love to see all these guys mix it up if possible.
Rick, do you see Shakur Stevenson besting both Tank Davis, Devin Haney?
Well, if they fight, he will. If they fight, he will. But that's the basis of my rating. I believe he will, but I don't know if they'll fight him. I mean, I just can't see that. I just don't see those guys as being that brave. And not because he's a puncher, just because they're afraid to lose.
And there it is. And
if you listen to Bill Haney, who just recently came out with another one of these ridiculous sparring session stories that that Devin Haney knocked out Tank Davis in sparring, and oh my gosh, it's embarrassing.
All bullshit. All bullshit. Please.
For whatever reason, fans, they just soak that up like a sponge, man. And it's the funniest thing to me, man. These guys have never been in a gym. That tells me everything, you know.
Oh, Chihuahua. But I will say this, though, guys. I will say this, though. If you're in South Texas, everybody, I'm going to be celebrating my birthday, and I'm turning 50. This weekend, guys, on Saturday at Smokes, downtown San Antonio. Guys, come and celebrate with me. I'm going to celebrate with all of my boxing peeps, including Robert Garcia is going to be there. Bam Rodriguez, nice. He's going to be there even though he's in camp. Rayo Valenzuela is going to be there. Raymond Murataya is going to be there. I've already confirmed. And guys, who's not going to be there, but he's working now with Robert again. I'm so happy when I heard this. I was so happy. Virgil Ortiz Jr. is once again working with Robert Garcia.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing too, man. And you know, Joe, if I was there in South Texas, I'd get you a bottle of champagne, man.
Woo! I tell you what, and I would toast.
Yeah, but G Funky, you'd have to find your arm to do it.
Woo! I tell you what, that's a low blow there, Rick. Oh, that's a bit of an inside joke too. But Rick, I tell you what though, give us your thoughts on Virgil Ortiz Jr. going back to Robert Garcia, and what does this mean for the 154-pound weight division?
Every year when they have the Indianapolis 500, okay, they sing right before the start of the race. One of the songs they sing besides the national anthem is "Home Again in Indiana." Mm-hmm. Back home again in Indiana. Well, it's back home at the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy for in Riverside, California for Virgil Ortiz.
I tell you what, iron sharpens iron, guys, and you're not going to get better sparring anywhere else if you're in those weight divisions.
Boy,
guys, this can only be good news for Virgil Ortiz if he is past that condition of rhabdomyolysis. Well, let's just pray that he is, because the sport is much better off with that knockout artist intact. Tell you what, that's January 6th, isn't it, Rick? Golden Wood Promotions?
Yep. I brokered the deal to have Frederick Lawson fight him. So I brokered that deal.
Oh, nice.
And there it is.
Rick.
Big up to Rick.
You going to be in Vegas for that one, Rick, or are you sitting that one out?
No, I'm going there. Matter of fact, I'm leaving late December because my wife wants to spend, the New Year's out there in Vegas. So that's what we're going to do. And then the fight will be the following Saturday. So we'll be out there for a while.
And did you notice that I included a photo in the intro and the outro of the lovely Miss Glaser by his side? How do you like that, guys?
Yeah,
I didn't see it. Where is it?
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm gonna play it right now for you, Rick, so you can see it and you can hear my awesome Rocky V, Don King impression. You ready for this? Here it goes. Now, once again, let me take this banner off, even though Shakur Stevenson. We'll see what happens if he's number one still after this Thursday. Now, pay attention to the very final track, right? Final photo.
Rod Vachon Hold'em presents the living embodiment of the American spirit, my brother, Rick Glaser.
Only in America.
Woo! Wasn't that beautiful, Rick? An homage to you, my friend.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
Oh, Jingle. Don't get too excited there, Rick. Oh boy. I tell you what, yeah, that was
Great
about
photo,
a Rocky.
though. Great photo.
That was a great photo, and I love the shades. Love the yeah, you guys actually enjoying life. And I tell you what, you guys are gonna have a fantastic New Year's if she doesn't spend all your money at the Houston Galleria on December 2nd, brother.
No, we're not going to. We're not going to be in Houston. We're not going to that show.
You're not going to the
I'm
Ryan
going.
Garcia
No,
show.
I'm going. No, I'm going to. I'm going out. I'm leaving the 11th. I'm going out to the show on the I don't know 16th, 17th, whatever date that is, on that Saturday that week out in Palm Springs.
Oh,
So-
that's a shame. Well, you know, because I was already planning on going to the first, that
No.
card on the zone with Giovanni Marquez, and I was going to go on the second in Houston to Ryan Garcia's card. But hey, I'll just spend more time with Ronnie, I guess.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Coach Ronnie. And speaking of which, yeah, he's got his fighter, Dave Morrell Jr., who's going to be in the headlining slot on the final broadcast of Showtime Championship Boxing, if you want to call it that. Even though he's got a baby belt, Dave Morrell Jr. versus Sena Egbeko. Rick, are you sad to see the final broadcast of Showtime Championship Boxing after a 38-year tenure?
From a fan standpoint, a boxing enthusiast standpoint, I do, because I do enjoy watching boxing. Obviously, that's how I started as a fan. But from a business perspective, they suck. So off they go.
Oh, Chingo. That hurts, brother. That hurts. Yeah. But oh well, guys. Look. And this leads us to our last fact or fiction. Here it is, guys. And I thought this was very insightful, Rick, and hopefully this is exactly what happens, right? You stated this on November 12th at 3:15 a.m. to the raccoon that never sleeps. He says, quote, I said it before, Showtime announced they were leaving the boxing business, but now that announcement has been made, I hope you can see boxing badly needs a reset. And now, since the Showtime announcement, maybe you'll agree with that. Boxing needs to lower the purses or make the biggest and best fights. And to do that, promoters have to work together to make the fights boxing enthusiasts want to see. Excuse me. And fighters need to fight at least twice a year to keep their name out there for the public to have interest in a particular fighter. And much better judges decisions, damn it. It's not rocket science. Those 5 guidelines need to be followed, and boxing will be great. Again, you forgot one big one, though, Rick. That's diehards need to quit stealing the damn product. And I tell you what,
but that's not right. But you're right about that. But that's not something the business can do something about. That's the fan. This is something. These are things the people in the business have to do something about. And that's what I was referring to. But you're right. There's no question about it.
Well, you know what is the likelihood though of all of those things happening if subscriber numbers and ratings don't increase, i.e., stop stealing?
Well, I just feel that if you increase the quality of the product and the fairness of the results, and I don't mean fair as in dishonest, I mean fair as incompetent. I think that you need to do all those things that I mentioned, and you can make boxing what it was at one time. I mean, we've diluted our own product, and I can honestly say we have diluted our own product. And if anybody does thinks they're wrong, I can show you otherwise.
Yep.
First of all, first of all, 30 years ago, fighters never went out with body shots ever.
Mm-hmm.
Today, they go out with body shots on a regular basis. Part of the reason why is because of the fact that the only time they get in the gym is when they have a signed contract and they're fat and flabby and they get in the gym to lose weight. They don't get in the gym to hone their bodies to be able to take those body shots. So it's a vicious cycle, and they're killing themselves. I mean, just what do you think Al Heyman's fighters all get beat for? Spence, all these guys get beat when they get in big fights because they're look at Stephen Fulton. They all haven't fought in a long time, and you just can't run a business like that. You can't. These guys got to be well-oiled machines, and they're not well-oiled if they're not fighting, once every 14 months.
That's it. That's it, guys. The gospel according to Rick Glaser. Big hand, big round of applause.
There we go.
Woo-hoo! Rick, I tell you what, I couldn't end this show on a finer note. I tell you what, Rick, you are an absolute pleasure to chat with, brother, and you only speak the gospel. We love featuring you on the show. Please give us your parting shots for this episode's, this latest episode of Real Rick Glaser.
A parting shot.
Yeah.
If I put it this way,
parting shots.
if I had 3 bullets, I know the 3 people I'd kill in boxing. Let's put it that way to you.
Oh, Chingo. We could have done without that on our show.
Oh boy.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
So let me guess.
If anybody wants to, if anybody would like to follow me, it's at Real Rick Glaser 1 on Twitter. And I've gotten, 8,900 followers. And, if you'd like to come on, I answer all boxing questions. And just all you do is got to behave. That's all you got to do.
And there it is, guys. There it is. No false accusations. No slanderous remarks. And Rick Glaser's your best buddy. There it is. There it is. Rick, thank you for your time, brother. And thank you for staying up after the Monday Night Football game. And we look forward to chatting with you once again, this time a little bit earlier, next Monday. How do you like that, guys?
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye now.
God
Thank
bless
you.
All right, Rick.
Thank you, my friend. I tell you what, guys. Rick, boy, he's going to give it to you Florida style, whether you like it or not. I tell you what, Rick. I tell you what, G-Funky. Let's talk about this weekend, though, brother. I can't wait, guys. I can't wait, honestly, because I can't think of a better birthday present for moi than to hang out with my boxing brethren in San Antonio, Texas. I tell you what, G-Funky, the only thing that will be missing is you. That's it, my friend.
Oh, man. That would be fantastic if I was there. It would be just like my time down in LA last month for the fights.
Yes.
I had a great time talking with all those guys, all the fighters, everyone involved, all the commentators, everything. It was a great experience, man, especially seeing how everything works behind the scenes, actually getting a chance to sit in at the fighter meetings and stuff like that. Was phenomenal, man. It's such a great experience, and really made my love for the sport even stronger. It was already pretty strong.
There it is. There it is. Guys, and I tell you what, it's going to be, I can't even remember the last time I was at a fight card that I wasn't working. Either ring announcer, commentator, being a journalist. I'm just going to be there enjoying all the fights. What a novel idea that is. So I'm going to be there with all my brothers. Young Billionaire is going to be there. Rodney Green's going to be there. Robert Garcia obviously is going to be there. Daniel Cortez. I had the privilege of calling his professional debut. He's going to be in the main event. Raymond Murataya is going to be there. Bam Rodriguez. Jesse Rodriguez, his dad. Joshua Franco is going to be there. Guys, Pita's going to be there. This is going to be so much fun. And guys, I tell you what, Jesse James Lejas is going to be there. John Michael Johnson's going to be there. Guys, Rick Morones is going to be there. Guys, it's going to be so much fun. And if you're in South Texas, please come and celebrate my birthday with me. I can't think of a better party. Guys, this is, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun, guys. It's going to go down November 18th on Saturday night, downtown San Antonio at Smoke Barbecue. Guys, come check it out. Please celebrate with me. You're all invited. I tell you what, we want to welcome and we want to thank Tyco TV for hanging with us, and Peter Von Arx. Thank you, my friend. I tell you what, most idiots on YouTube, they would prefer a super chat, but I will take this over that any day of the week, and I assure you, that's from the heart. Khalid, welcome to the show, sir. He says Sean Given fighters always pulling something off. You said it. I didn't. Woo! I tell you what, Peter also has the beat. He says, Muratay look good. Let's see him fight. William Cepeda, G Funky. Who wins? Who wins that fight?
I would favor Danger Murataya in that fight. But yeah, it would be fantastic to see both guys in there with and I'll say this, I think both guys have elite skill at what they do, right? Murataya, fantastic boxer, great defensive fighter, fast hands, good counter puncher, really good at controlling range himself. And against a guy like William Cepeda, who's got an engine that just won't stop, throws punches and bunches, has shown a good chin up to this point. Yeah, it's a fantastic matchup, man. If they can make something like that happen, I think it would be big.
Oh, gosh, dude. I would love that fight. That would be can you think of a better fan-friendly matchup at 35 or any division?
I would say, if I was to say fan-friendly, maybe Camarón Cepeda versus Pitbull Cruz. That could be a very entertaining fight, too.
Ching out, dude. Oh, dude, can you imagine who would win that?
Oh, I honestly, I think I would probably take Cepeda in that one. But it would be a fucking great fight. Might be a fight. That might be a fight, right? If they can make it happen.
But you can't hurt Pitbull Cruz.
I know, but
you can only outbox him, but you can't hurt him.
Pressure, volume, all that. I mean, it's all there, guys. Power punching, it's all there in that matchup. That could be another Mexican trilogy if these guys can make these fights happen. You know?
Gosh. Well, you know what? Just like Rick said, and it's so profound. Everything that he closed everything out with. It's time, guys. It's time. In my opinion, and I've said this several times, the primary blunder in which Steven, and I've told him this as well, he's admitted this, that his biggest blunder was exclusively working with one promoter, not everyone involved. That was the biggest blunder. And guys, it's time. It's time. The exclusive relationship with the network, between promoter and network, that's got to go, guys. That's got to go. Like, hit your tag, right? The button that you always press. Come on, hit it.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
And there it is, guys. It's got to go. It's got to go. Come on now. Look, the house is on fire. We need to put it out with some great fights, some great matchups. Now, once again, let's get, now that Rick is off the air, right? Let's get your thoughts. Let me take care of this comment here. Hold on. Now, with all of the top 7 that Rick came up with, let's get G Funky's top 7, right?
Oh, boy.
Of all of these. So here was his number 7, right? Competing for the vacant WBC title this Thursday against Shakur Stevenson, Edwin De Los Santos, 16-1, 14 knockouts. Do you agree with that?
You know, it's hard to disagree with what Rick has here, you know?
Yep.
I think what most fans would probably have an issue with would be where Tank Davis is, but
including moi. And I'll explain
Yeah.
a little bit, but keep going, G Funky.
No, I could agree with the list in totality, Joe.
Okay, well let's go through this real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, 7, Edwin De Los Santos. 6, Raymond Murataya. William Zepeda. Number 5. Ooh. Number 4, Gervonta Tank Davis. Oh, Chingao. Number 3, Vasily Lomachenko. Number 2, Devin, gone to 40, Haney. And number 1, haven't won a title yet at 35, Shakur Stevenson. Look, I will say this. I think Gervonta Tank Davis, in my opinion, is the best lightweight in the world.
Gervonta.
Yes, and because I go by the eye test exclusively. Dude, resumes, trinkets, records, to quote the great Emmanuel Stewart, man, that's for fans, writers, and network executives who don't quite understand what they're looking at in the ring yet. I'm sorry, can you explain to me what weakness Gervonta Tank Davis has currently?
I would say, from looking at it and looking at his fights, from my opinion, I would say defensively, he's not the best. But I think he's kind of tightened up on that recently, and I think that what he's done is that he's kind of lowered the volume that he puts out. I think earlier in his career, when he was at the lower weight classes, a little bit more willing to let the hands go, and
Well, why is that, OG Funky? Why is that?
Well, because
to create those openings, because if you've got that offense, now keep in mind, look, William Zepeda, great volume knockout artist, right? But it's all an accumulated effort in volume.
Yes.
Even Murataya, great knockout artist, 19-0 with 16 knockouts. This guy, sky's the limit for this kid. I truly believe this. But Gervonta Tank Davis, he's the only fighter in this division who has that one-hitter quitter, one-punch knockout power. Like, that's the reason why he seemingly has these defensive lapses. Because he wants guys to open up.
Yeah. Believes in his power. And again, like in the Santa Cruz fight, right? Got hit a lot. Actually got bruised up and swelled up pretty good in that fight.
How did it end up?
Yeah. No, I ended up winning in grand fashion in that fight. But yeah, and the more you open up, the more you give your opponent an opportunity to hit you with something. Doesn't matter how good defensively you are, you're gonna get hit. And I mean, let's look at Mayweather's career, right? Let's just take one example when he moved up to welterweight, which was the highest. Well, actually, he went up to super welterweight, but majority of his fights towards the end of his career were at welterweight. The times that I've seen him getting touched up were when he decided to let the hands go and was getting hit in between with something. So, and Mayweather's considered one of the best defensive fighters that we've seen. So, yeah, it doesn't matter how good defensively you are. As soon as you let a punch go, you're able to get counterpunched by your opponent. So,
that's it.
Yeah, no one is immune to that.
So very quickly, G Funky, seeing that Shakur Stevenson is the master, the young master, Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis, who wins in your mind?
Right now,
yeah.
It's and again, I know there's going to be
Flip
a lot
a
of people
coin, guys.
Oh my God, this is crazy. Tank's fought nobody, and I get it, right? I get it. His resume does leave a lot to be desired, but like Joseph said, he's got the hand speed to match Shakur Stevenson, and he's got legit one-punch knockout power. And that's something that we have not seen.
Set, guys. He's got the skill set.
Yeah.
So
he's dangerous. He's just as dangerous as any of these guys. Man, if they were to fight right now, oh my God, that's tough.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
but I'll
That's
be
why I'm
honest. I
saying,
think I would slightly favor
that's
Shakur.
here.
Yeah.
Listen, that's why I'm saying Gervonta Davis, number 4. If anything, put him in number 2. Damn it! Come on,
Yeah, you could get
Like
him
Devin
there
Haney at
because
number 2. Let's just face it, guys. Even though this guy has all the titles, do you expect to see him at 35 ever again?
I don't expect it, but you never know.
No, Skeletor?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The freaking zombie Michael Jackson from Thriller? Come on.
He looked like that weighing in the rematch for Cambosis. Yeah. No, you could make a case for Tank being number 2 because, Haney might not come back down to lightweight. And Lomachenko, although he is very skilled himself, coming off of another loss, you could definitely make a case for Tank being there. But yeah, I would slightly favor Shakur Stevenson in a matchup with Tank Davis right now. But he would have to be very careful because, again, Tank has got the ability to end the fight with one punch, and we've seen that. And that's exactly why he is the big draw that he is, because he gets knockouts, guys.
Guys, and keep in mind, we've got no dog in the hunt, guys. G Funky and I. Guys, we don't look at the sport this way. Look, it is what it is. We don't have any favorites. We don't have any preferences. Guys, our only bias, and I can speak for G Funky as far as this is concerned, our only bias is that we care about what's good for the health of the sport and what's bad for the health of the sport. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's our only bias. Everything else is a very distant second. That's it. So, guys, when we tell you Shakur Stevenson, number 1, oh my gosh, that kid is a phenom, man. Like you've got to go to Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, Dimitri Bivol to see guys control range better than Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Mayweather. Like that's great company.
Yeah, and
I think. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say this Thursday we got Shakur coming up against another lightweight,
Edwin De Los Santos.
He's got punching power himself. Got the ability to turn the fight around with one shot.
Athletic.
And we'll see how Shakur handles that.
He's a natural 35-pounder. That's what I was just going to say, G Funky. Let's revisit this conversation after Thursday.
Yeah, we'll see how he handles a guy who's a legit threat with power this Thursday. And then we can get a better view of how he could, because again, De Los Santos is a southpaw as well, just like Tank, just like Shakur. All 3 of them are all southpaws. So we'll see how he does.
Well, I tell you what, let's go to our brother Peter Von Arx. Pit bull. You know what? I thought it was bogus. Yeah, well, you know what? You could make a case for him being in that top 7 as well. Right?
Yeah, you sure could. Yeah.
But I will say this, though. In his last outing on the Crawford Spence undercard, he couldn't cut off the ring to fucking save his life. I will say that. Also, want to welcome our brother Fat Belly. Salute, gentlemen. Do you guys know when Mauricio will announce this week his mandatories? Look, if you're looking at what the IBF just did, for any indication, trust me, he's not that anxious to lower the gavel.
No. I mean, just look at the ordered fights from last year. How many of them actually happened? Not a whole lot. Because like Joseph said, the sanctioning bodies are powerless when it comes to certain matchups that they order. So, be prepared for fighters to say something like this if they get ordered a fight that they don't want to happen.
I said, all right, I'll tell you something. Go fuck your mother.
No, just a little bit. Just a little bit you were insulted, Woo! I tell you what, guys, and I was meticulous in making this intro, so I'm going to play it again. How do you like this?
It's time to rank the best at 135.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, Oh, guys, we're having too much fun. I tell you what, though. I also want to welcome Boxing Lifer to the program. But it's getting about that time, guys. It's almost midnight my time, 1 o'clock.
Rick's
Yeah,
time.
East Coast. And, oh, boy, I tell you what, it's been a long day. So, G-Funky, your parting shots for our listening audience tonight, my friend. And thank you for being a part of this program and staying up with us. Because I tell you what, the show is so much better with your involvement. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me, and it's always a pleasure talking with you and Rick. Rick and I have we've hung out a few times down in LA last month, and we had a great time together at the fights, and so it's always fun coming here. And I'm glad that I'm finally feeling better. I was really, really sick last week, guys.
Well, I tell you what, though, G, thank you. I'm so glad you're feeling better. But you and I, after the show, we're gonna have to have a talk about Rick's, underhanded comment earlier today. Oh boy, I tell you what, I have a bone to pick with that gentleman right now. That was underhanded, but you know what? That's Rick's way now, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Yes, indeed.
But I tell you what, G Funky, you're a gentleman, brother, and once again, man, the boxing business will be much better off with you in it, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being in it, man. I tell you what, though, guys, that's going to just about do it. On behalf of the real Rick Glaser, on behalf of the boss, G Funky, I'm Joseph Heron. Come and celebrate my birthday with me, damn it. South Texas, November 18th. Robert Garcia, Daniel Cortez at Smokes, downtown San Antonio, the Alamo City. Have a great evening, everybody.
Rod Vashon Holden presents the living embodiment of the American spirit, my brother, Rick Glaser.